Oh, boys and gals, this is a bad one. This is a really, really big one I wanted to cover and kind of break down at length for all of you. So I hope you guys all enjoy. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you all for subbing, for commenting, for leaving topics down below you want me to talk about. This one, a bit older by now, but wanted to talk at this at length around the initial Doublelift accusations, which have led to this, that being an investigation by Riot Games into TSM CEO, otherwise known as Reginald. Now, this is going to be very serious. Last time I talked about TSM, we recognized how many members, a lot of members, nearly a dozen I could list at the top of my mind, some well-versed names in the esports and gaming scene, whether it be those that held prominent roles inside the company or players or streamers, have all left the TSM organization, and it seems to be what it was in the wake of this investigation, which is still pending. Now, also brought to life by Wired, a great article and a great read who brought this Riot investigation to light for all of us. They do mention that apparently TSM has their own investigation, which those results should be shared sometime soon. Yes, TSM launched their own investigation against Reginald to see what is going on inside TSM, as there have been, I would say, piling up of accusations ever since Doublelift called him out. If you guys do not remember, way back, we're talking months ago, where Doublelift spoke up on stream, and he said a lot of things, including, I would say, first and foremost, that he hates TSM. He wants to see them lose. I would say, most importantly, he even claims that Reginald had verbally assaulted players, even going on to make several players and staff members cry inside the organization, and a lot more. You don't have to listen to everything. It's a long, lengthy clip, so you can skip forward quite a bit, but that was the gist of Doublelift and his initial accusations.
Not last year. Sounds like you're being indecisive. Should have just played. I don't think I should play in an environment that is not where everyone's goals are not aligned. That's what I'm looking for in this offseason, right? Like, I want to join a team where everyone has the same goal, the same vision, the same expectations. If you don't, it's never gonna work. Like, you want to feel like everyone's in the same boat, headed in the same direction, and have a lot of trust, have a lot of mutual respect for your team. Honestly, I fucking hate TSM mostly because of Andy. I actually remember this now. Yeah, Sword Art called me afterwards and said, "I'm coming to TSM. Are you sure?" Like he still wanted to play with me. I called Andy and told him, "Yeah, Sword Art still wants to play with me, and I would love to, continue to play for the org." And Andy literally said no because he's got too much of an ego. It's fucking so cringe. If I was on TSM last split, there's no doubt in my mind we would have made Worlds. Actually, I talked to Sword Art after... No, wait, I talked to him after spring, I think. I'm trying to remember this. I went and got hotpot with Sword Art, and I think it was between spring and summer split. It was around MSI, and the dude was literally saying that if me and Bjergsen was still playing, we would have 100% won. It's like, just unbelievable decisions. I don't know. Every split I'm on TSM, we win, and still, like, get treated like that. It's just disgusting. It would be a personal pleasure of mine to see TSM never win anything again, because of how shitty they treated the people who brought them everything. I don't even need to like pray for it. They're just gonna make that happen themselves.
Peter.
What? We're trying to be honest here. Oh yeah, it gets covered up, He makes people cry, it gets covered up. He acts like an asshole, it gets covered up. I'm just sick of the covering up. That's all. And I think yesterday, like, it really reflected bad on me that I tied in like any sort of off-season stuff, because it made me look like a jealous, like a spurned lover or something, It's just like, oh my god, you wouldn't take me, so now I'm salty. But that's not what it is at all. Like, I'm not a good actor. I'm perfectly happy with streaming. I really am. Like, you can really ask anybody how I've been for the last year, and I haven't been like fucking tossing, turning, like losing sleep, like, oh my god, I just want to play again. Like, that's not happening, guys. That's not the case. I hate that I conflated those two things as like the same. What I really did yesterday was I got tired of this guy getting a pass for everything, and I'm so happy that I came out and I exposed him for what he is. Just a dude with too much power, somebody who doesn't treat his employees with respect. Just look at this tweet, seriously, and tell me that this does not embody this person. I just want you guys to know I don't actually, I don't like what I said, and I wish I could have never said it, that I hate TSM, because it makes it feel like I just made an enemy out of everybody who wants to support the team. I just don't like the guy at the top. I specifically don't like the two guys at the top, and I should have said that, because That's what I really mean. But yeah, this whole thing it's too fucking funny, man. I think this thing is so funny because, to be honest, I picked a fight and he came up to swing and there's no way that he can win because it's him versus 50 people. Last night I got messages from so many people. The funniest one, the funniest one, you know who you are. Funniest one was a former employee just messaged me a thumbs up. That's all he said, a thumbs up. And then like so many people came out and messaged me and were like, they're supportive. Fucking Sword Art messaged me on WeChat, and I'm not gonna tell you guys what he said, but he was supportive. Like dude, it's just so funny. There's so many people who've either worked or continue to work at or like still work at TSM, and they know exactly what I'm talking about, dude. It's just so fucking funny because this guy came up to fight me and it's like, you have no chance of winning. It's you versus 100 people. Like, what do you think is gonna happen? Oh man, there's just so many stories, man. Like, I got a message about Tweet's draft diff in the middle of a fucking series. How disrespectful to Bjergsen, the guy who gave you everything, is that? Bjergsen is never going to come out. I'm actually gonna go try to find it. I'm sure this guy's. He's in here. He's in incognito mode. There's tears in his eyes, man. He's sweating. He's losing hair, and he's for sure going through his Twitter right now and deleting shit. But let's see if I can go find it. Bjergsen is the guy who gave your team everything, all of the fans, all of the success. He poured his fucking life into your company. It was his mission to bring your team success. And you're tweeting draft diff in the middle of a series. Does anyone have the link to this? Okay, somebody links it. It's just crazy, right? Like, I don't need to present the evidence. The evidence comes out every fucking 2 weeks. Like, it's just so funny, man. It's just so funny. And like, can you play this off as a joke when it happens so often? Can you say that it's just a meme? He's like, haha, we got outdrafted. No, he's 100% serious. It's so funny, man. It's so funny. The guy who gave you everything, he could have went and coached for another org. He could have went and taken his incredible talent. Bjergsen, the guy who he's like a perfect fucking player. He's a perfect person. Amazing brand rep. He never gets into drama like me. His ego is so in check. Like, the guy is a fucking saint. He's a living saint. And you go out and say shit like this. And what happens, guys? People sleep it away. People just forget about it. People just think, oh, that's just Andy being Andy. Well, I'm fucking sick of this guy being Andy. I'd rather him be someone else. Or I'd rather him not be there. It's just crazy, man. The way he treats, yes, the way that he treats people, it's a lack of respect. It's a lack of human decency. That's what it is. Losing money, I'm gonna be like, finally, I'm gonna be taken off, right? Because I don't want to work with this guy. I don't want to have anything to do with him. I'm sick of it. Like, I just keep going back to it, man. That's why people are getting away from him. That's it. Yeah, like, he came in and I don't even, fuck, man, like, I feel bad saying this about people, but I don't think it's too personal. He made so many players cry. So many players. I don't want to name them, actually, because I feel like it's not my story to tell. So I would just say that he made a lot of players cry. You would be very fucking surprised at how many of maybe your favorite familiar faces in LCS legit mental breakdown because of how badly they're getting berated, how badly they were just getting verbally assaulted. It's the case of like a bully behind closed doors who gets covered up. That's what I'm serious. It's literally the case of like the guy, like a fucking a TV show where like a dude is like, you're at a boarding school and the dude's like just picking on people and his like dad is the dean. His dad is like the principal. So he can just do whatever the fuck he wants.
And that was really bad. It was very well received on Doublelift's side when he first made those accusations, as it usually is when he says his bit and we haven't heard the other side, which Reginald later posted in his response, a lengthy Reddit thread that I would say, honestly, at the time, really thoroughly explained the roster changes and, of course, the ongoing movements inside the League of Legends scene as to why they did not move forward with Doublelift and his hesitancy here and there and his decisions of actually wanting to retire or compete in League of Legends. I would say initially, made some great remarks at the very, very end saying, hey, we don't want to work with Doublelift anymore, and he is free to search for other options, or we're going to vet him out as well to go to other teams if they do so want him, because obviously, let's be honest, right? Doublelift said some crazy accusations against Reginald. There is no way that TSM and Reggie could have kept him around, and so it made a lot of sense after his thorough Reddit explanation that he was like, hey, by the way, we're also parting ways. There is no way that Doublelift could have said those things and then kind of just danced and pranced and stayed inside TSM, which led to a further response by Doublelift, which, by the way, he doubled down, not only doubling down on accusations, saying members outside and previously of TSM and currently in TSM would back what he had said, which is very important for what I'm going to share with you guys eventually, the main part of this video. Even more so, he actually calls out those who defended Reginald, including Jack Etienne, Loco Doco, a few other top figures out there who said they had nothing but great interactions with someone like Reggie. I'm not asking you guys to go direct hate in their direction, right? They are friends of Reggie's who are trying to defend him in a very, very, heated time. Doublelift even taking to Twitter to call them out and doubling down on his accusations.
Oh, what's this? Let's be honest. Drafts should matter against teams like CLG. If we can't win with 5 team modes versus CLG, we should be evaluating our play. I mean, this is not really like as personal, but the dude thinks that he is. The dude thinks that he's God. The dude thinks that he's God. That's all. Last owners meeting, TSM Reginald complimented 100th as the only non-shitty new LCS team. So on behalf of the shitty new LCS team, suck it. Oh. You know what's funny? It's like I say spicy shit. I can be rude. I can be mean. I can dish out some abrasive stuff. But I think I know where to draw the line at in terms of being disrespectful. And when I do hurt people's feelings, I apologize and I learn from my mistakes. Definitely not a saint. I'm probably not the right person to be talking about all this stuff. It just never really sat right with me that he got away with all these things. So that's why I'm talking about it. Because I think someone should. Because I think it's important. People will not come out and say things even though they agree. And you know why? It's because they're still in the scene. It's because they're still personally vested in making sure that TSM is an option for them, either to leverage their contract or to actually play there. And they don't want to make an enemy. They don't want to burn a bridge. But there will come a day where people actually part ways with this org. And there's no reason for them. There's no reason for them to like hold back. And then honestly, if you're like Bjergsen, you just never want to be involved in any drama ever. So, I don't expect a lot of people to come out and say shit, because why the fuck would you ever want to be involved in drama? You're just literally making enemies. But there will still be a good chunk of people who will come out and they will back me up. If you look at my Discord, if you look at my fucking WeChat as well, there are a lot of people who support me. There are a lot of people who support me, and that makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm on like the right side of history, I guess. People still want to talk to me and hang out with me, but they don't want to hang out with him. They're not friends with him. They don't invite him to things. And you have to ask yourself why. Why is this person who kind of implicates himself in the league team so much, why does it seem like he's not friends with anybody? Just ask yourself that question. Like, of course I have my personal differences with Core and Steve and stuff, but at the end of the day, I respect them so fucking much. Like, I got kicked off of CLG. Actually, CLG just is a shit org, but that's a terrible example. Let me backtrack a little bit. Let's go next point. I got kicked off of TSM in 2017, and I was still friends with everybody. While I was on Team Liquid, I did a flex queue game with my old team. I did it with Dennis, Vincent, Kevin, and Soren. Like, we're obviously all still friends. We still went out to dinner and shit. Like, we're still homies. We'll be homies for life. Like, those are the people that, if I had a wedding, if I had like some crazy event, like, I would invite them, because we are lifelong friends. And I would say the same shit about my teammates on Team Liquid. I would say the same shit about Steve. Steve is a fucking homie to me. Core, Jensen, we are friends forever. Afro, yeah. It just speaks volumes, man. Like, that's all I'm saying. He picked a fight that he can't win.
And all of that is what has led to the culminating event of Released by Wired. Please go check it out. An overall investigation by Riot Games into Reginald, which I'm going to read for all of you guys into it now. It's obviously pretty intense. A lot of the things that you expected to be in here were in here. And of course, this is all sparked by someone like Doublelift. And now that it's out there, this is going to be crazy for TSM. Can they survive something like this? What is going to be the outcome of something like this, especially what if Reggie's found guilty? What if he's found innocent? There could be a variety of punishments out there for these kind of actions that Doublelift is certainly not swayed from. And this article also mentions a lot of people also apparently agree. As Riot Games actually responded to Wired, of course, over email, saying, "We are aware of the allegations made about the CEO and owner of TSM," Riot Games told Wired over email. "As a league operator, we have also engaged a law firm of Melvin and Myers, LLP, to conduct an independent investigation into claims of misconduct made against the leader of this team, in accordance with standard league process." Both Riot and Din, that being Andy or Reginald, declined to comment on specific allegations, citing the ongoing investigation process. And they also referenced some former lines that someone like Doublelift had said, like, he's like a bully who gets away with being a bad person because he's powerful, because people are afraid to stand up to him. I'm sick of someone who's basically just a bully getting away with it because it's in everyone's best interest to not get in his way. And even more so, pretty serious here, as the Wired article says, 4 individuals who have worked with TSM tell Wired that the esports organization is dominated by a culture of fear. As far back as 2013, they say, Din was known to verbally abuse and yell at players and employees. He has called employees stupid or worthless, 2 sources say. 2 sources recalled Din calling employees after hours just to scream at them. 3 current or former TSM employees say that sometimes Din would ridicule employees for hours. His tirades were often prompted by minor mistakes. Other times, he yelled at employees in front of assembled colleagues as part of an exhibition, says one current employee that Din appeared to take pride in. One former employee recalled hearing Din say he wanted to make an example out of a person he berated publicly. Which, obviously, when you have 2 people here, 3 people there, 1 from inside TSM, 2 from outside, 4 from outside, it is not good when Wired releases this, and there seems to be a slew of people, either with TSM or not, upholding what Doublelift had said about abusive behavior and maybe taking advantage of the power that he had and the fear that he instilled in people. It's not a good read. And here is where it gets very interesting, where over email, Reginald tells Wired that he has exceedingly high expectations for myself, and I share those high expectations with everyone I work with. I have zero tolerance for underperformance. I am intense, passionate, driven, and relentless in the pursuit of winning. It's my nature. I set an extremely high bar, and when I feel that someone is not delivering, I directly and bluntly share that feedback. He added, however, that when he looks back, my vocabulary was at times too harsh and ineffective, which is a crazy thing to say when you've been accused of verbal assault and verbal abuse, to say, hey, I'm just freaking blunt. And I don't know if that defense is going to, is that going to stand up to Riot's investigation and your own investigation? I don't know. I do not know those details, but that is a crazy statement. Really, really crazy. Also saying, I know I need to work on my delivery, and I am working to improve the way I communicate with my team and those around me. I support and am fully cooperating with the independent investigations that are already underway and will gladly embrace any recommendations from the investigators. Din did not comment when asked about specific actions he was taking to improve his communications or others' behavior. I need to work on my delivery, which pretty much, yeah, I need to stop yelling at people that maybe don't deserve to be yelled at or berated or verbally abused. Yeah, this is very, very interesting, right? We do not know the exact specifics of who said what. It'd be great to see. Doublelift is one of the very few who put his name out there saying all those things, which you do greatly respect. And you wonder what Riot Games is going to do with this kind of investigation. I mean, you have a half dozen or more so sources saying he did this. So do you fine him? How do you punish him as an owner? It's going to be weird. And then, of course, they also conclude by saying TSM is also conducting their own investigation on all of these ongoings, which, to give you guys just top of the dome, people who have left TSM in the past 12 months, and you guys can probably add to this list as well, Doublelift. Pretty big one. Bjergsen, the buddies right there, gigantic names in the League of Legends space and TSM historically, both get up and they're obviously gone for very different reasons. Lena, ironically so, Doublelift's partner, but also goes to OTV, offline TV, going to do great things. You have, I believe it was actually Snipe Down. That was probably external causes. He left your Apex team to go back to Halo. I believe your former CEO or your VP of esports actually went to Dark Zero, correct? And got replaced. So that was a pretty big move there. You talk about Myth also losing him. That's a pretty big signee that obviously a staple. Myth is a huge name out there. You lose him, and how do you replace someone like that? And then, of course, you have, I think, a slew of Fortnite players who unfortunately were also let go, and maybe some other names that I'm missing off the top of my brain, but it's crazy. Like a lot of people have been leaving TSM, and I don't know those exact reasons, but it's all around the same time. Oh, and I could have said Daquan and Hamlin's, but that's a very complicated situation too. So only a number of those truly seem to be, okay, what went on behind the scenes, especially when you look at Doublelift, Bjergsen, and Lena, and maybe Myth as well. Maybe it was contractually up. But yeah, it's not a good look. When you have both of these things coinciding, it makes you wonder where the organization will go for a future. As of right now, TSM's owner and CEO Reginald is being investigated for verbal abuse and maybe some other harsher things in terms of harassing employees or former and current players and staff. What do y'all think about it? Probably the most serious video I've done on the channel so far, and hopefully I did a good job in representing these details. So what do y'all think? Till next time, do me a favor, drink up. All right? Catch you back here sometime soon. Take care.